Hello everyone. So I'm going to post a new video and show you something very unique. In this video we are going to talk about something very special. Told you, I think I told you, that I'm a Civil War reenactor, and I'm going to pretty much show you what I have. Why I didn't put up a video last week was because I was getting ready for an event I did last week at Fort Mifflin. We were a garrison, and we guarded guarded Fort Mifflin for a day. Fort Mifflin served as a prison camp during the Civil War for 2 years, and we reenacted a Mifflin we reenacted and recreated what a prison garrison would have looked like. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you what we have. This is a cartridge box. And in here, you would put your rounds. There are obviously right now there's no rounds in there right now, but you used to put your rounds in a cartridge box, and you used to wear it around your shoulders. It would basically be sitting pretty much right behind you. All you had to do was reach in. So these are what they call leathers, part of your leathers anyway. So you would put the rounds in here, and then when you would be told to fire, you would open them up, and you would open this up, and you would take out a round, open the paper, and out will come a bullet. So then you would ram it, but this is where soldiers would store their ammunition, and this is where we store our ammunition. And that's one thing that I use. This is a haversack. This would keep all the amenities that a soldier would use. They would have cards, tobacco, there may be pipes in there if they smoke pipes. They would have maybe journals. They would have sewing kits. They would keep letters in here. Mainly in reenactments, we normally don't take these haversacks out unless we're asked. Most of the time, they basically just sit in camp. I mainly keep my plates and forks in here for food. And that's pretty much what it's used for. It's really not used for anything much, but during the real days, it was used for a lot of stuff. And yes, they did carry it when they were on the march. These are the bags of rounds. This is the bag of rounds I use. You can see that part of them were used, so I got to start making more soon because I got a gap before the next event. So you can see that I used some of it, but that's basically what was in that cartridge box. You would have taken out opened up your cartridge box, and you would have taken out one of these. And that would mainly hold a bullet. I shoot a 58 caliber rifle. I've got the bullet there, I'll show you later. Obviously, keep in mind there are no bullets in these rounds. They're just nothing but gunpowder, which is what we use, and plus it's safer. Well, but it is safer, more safer than the real thing. These are brogans. These are the shoes a Civil War soldier would wear. Yet they're not as fancy as you think, maybe in the old days or the old movies you'd see people wearing sneakers, black sneakers, but these are actually the shoes that they're wearing. These are brogans, and they're not quite comfortable, but any reenactor will tell you they go for about maybe $200, $100, whatever price you're looking for. Yes, when you reenact, you do have a water bottle, but it's called the canteen. This one's an old one. It's a reenactor who I believe still reenacts. I don't really keep in touch with him anymore, but it's his old one. And he was the first reenactor to give something when I first started. The best thing to do if you become a reenactor is try to buy things off of reenactors that are either leaving the hobby or are willing to sell you old trinkets for less than they were. If this goes for $100 or $80, if I remember correctly, I think he only gave me this thing for maybe $10. It all depends on which reenactor you speak to, but anyway, this is what you would drink out of mostly. Either bring your own water bottles to fill it up with, or if the event place has a jug of water, use that or a hose. This is a bayonet. Goes on your rifle. So, if you're thinking of it, this is in the movies. The Civil War was the last war that ever issued a bayonet, because you can see how triangular shaped it is. You stab, and you twist, and there's nothing anybody can do. So what they used to do was, when the soldier would say fix bayonets, they would put this bayonet on top of their gun, and they would use it. Mainly, the bayonet is an uncommon weapon because really it was not used as common as the movies make you think it was. It was mainly used for canteen holders or lamp holders, or at least tent stakes, mostly. It's very uncommon. It was mainly just used to scare the troops. But was it used in battle? Yes, and it was the very last war. The Civil War was the last war that this bayonet was used. Because the Geneva Convention stopped using them, because you can use them to defend yourself, but the person you're defending against is out of luck for any medical attention because you stab someone with it. Good luck with any doctors trying to close a wound, because it's not going to work. And this is coming off of a belt that you wear to keep that goes around when you wear your pants. You wear your pants and you put this belt around you. You can see I fight as a Union soldier. That says U.S. And in here, this is a cap pouch. I got this. I got the belt and the cartridge box for $50 off a reenactor who was selling his grandson's equipment because his grandson was leaving the hobby for a different reenacting war. So I got this in Cold Springs for $50, both this and the cartridge box. The cap pouch was from an old regiment when I first started. And there are small little caps in here. I'm not going to bring them out because they're too small. I don't want to drop anything and lose them. But that's what you put on top of your gun. So, this is one of them. But you put on the belt, and it goes around like this. And you wear it. Cap pouch goes where it is, this goes here. And the US normally sits here. And this is called your leathers. Basically, when you're in the field and they'll be like, get your leathers, your first sergeant or captain or major or NCO is referring to your pouch, cartridge box, and bayonet. Now this is called a sack coat. This is a common coat that soldiers would wear on the field. It is made of wool and cotton. And I don't know what the buttons are made of, but these buttons were here, made with the same material as the original. I had to get one of these buttons when I went to the 154th because one of the buttons fell off. So one of these buttons had to be re-sewed back on, but this is from CNC Sutlering. If anybody is looking to join the hobby, I request CNC Sutlering. They make the best clothes for what you're looking for. They do French and Indian War, I think Revolutionary War, Western, and of course Civil War. But this is a sack coat. It was a coat used by privates. Well, it was a coat used by privates, corporal, lieutenants. This is basically the overcoat. This is the main coat you would wear in battle or marching or walking around in camp. But mainly this is basically your attire for the weekend, basically. And this is basically the hat you would wear. This is a 2nd Corps badge. It says 69th. I'll get into that in a little bit. But this is the hat that you would wear that comes with the coat. You would have this on your head. This is a kepi or a forge cap, whatever they want to call it. This will cost you about $100, maybe $300. The whole uniform that I got was $331. But other than that, I wear the hat and I wear the coat. That's the main part of the uniform that you'd wear when you're at these events. This is a vest. You would wear this over your, you would wear this underneath your coat actually. When you actually weren't wearing your coat and you were in camp, you would wear the vest. It was more important when you were in camp to wear a vest because basically the shirt that you see people wear in the movies, the long shorts that you see them in bed with, that's basically your underwear. So you're considered naked if you don't have this vest on. You will be asked to either wear a vest or at least wear your sack coat when you're in camp, basically because you need to keep it authentic. But this is the vest you would wear. I was told that light blue vests were given to enlisted men and dark blue vests were given to volunteers, and I'm in a volunteer regiment from Pennsylvania. This these are your pants. You can basically see that these are suspenders, and you wear your pants, and like I said, your leathers go over, but you can see you get suspenders, and you get these pants, and pretty much they are pretty big. You can get them in your own size. I'm pretty much a size 30, and I'm a size 31 but waist 30. But this is pretty interesting. The uniform does get hot in the summer. As you can see, I've been a reenactor since 2014. You can actually see that these are getting pretty warm. I'm gonna have to get new pants soon. So we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. And this is one out of two shirts that I have. I have a huge white shirt, and then I went and I bought this shirt at the 155th Gettysburg. So obviously, yes, it looks a little battle worn. They expect you to wear. We don't wash our uniforms as much, but they don't expect you to because you're supposed to look dank and dirty. But this is one out of two. I got a big old white shirt over there too. I'm not going to bring that out. But I would wear this shirt, and then I'd wear the vest over this shirt, and then take the vest off and put on a coat. Now the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is a rifle. This is a Enfield rifle. It is, like I said, a 58 caliber rifle given to soldiers. It was given to soldiers, and the two top rifles that were used were Springfield rifles and Enfield rifles. Mainly, the Confederate Army used both Springfield and Enfield rifles. I use an Enfield rifle because mostly my regiment likes to use Enfield rifles because this is a black powder weapon, and it does have the ability to it does give you the ability to rust. So you can see here is bluing. They expected me to get the Enfield because you won't tell by the bluing that it's rusting. But these are a big pain in the butt to clean. But also, but anyway, this is the rifle of choice that was used on both sides. And this is how it's used. You would put a cap here, and then the hammer would hit the percussion cap, and then the bullet would come out of here, and then you would take the ramrod and you would ram it home. But we're not allowed to use a ramrod because if we get it stuck down there and someone gets hurt, we got a problem. But basically, this here is called a mini ball. This is the bullet that this gun here would take. This gun here would take this bullet, and it was very, very important that this is one of them. You have a 58 caliber mini ball, and then you have a bucking ball, and then you have a round shot, and then you have Canis, and then you have you have multiple different sizes. But this is a real bullet found in one of the fields down south. I bought this in Gettysburg for about $10, $15. I don't even remember the price, but it's a collectible, and you can see that it's been fired. And what it does is this is rifled. This rifle is rifled, so when you would shoot it, it would come out, and it would basically, when it falls out, when it comes out, would actually move in a circular motion, and when it hits you, it would break off. This is the main reason why there were a whole lot of amputations. But basically, I'll bring these to reenactments and I'll show spectators these bullets, and they find it intensifying that this is the biggest bullet ever known to man. This is the reason why a lot of people lost their legs or arms, because this pretty much shatters the bone and breaks the bone up. And it came out of these bullets. It came out of these guns. And let me tell you something. You were lucky if you passed instead of going to a field hospital, because, you know. But this is one of these are one of many rifles. But this is a single shot. This is a single shot gun. So, and I've been in the hobby for about a few years now, since 2014. And this is one of the reasons why I wasn't able to do a video for you, is because I was over at Fort Mifflin. So I just thought I'd share with you the apparatus of my reenacting equipment. Now, I'll give you a little advice about what I am. I am part of the 69th Pennsylvania Irish Volunteers from Philadelphia. They came off, some of them lived here, some of them were from Ireland. They came off of the ships, went to the recruiting stations in Ireland, left Ireland, came to Philadelphia, and came to the recruiting stations and formed the 69th Pennsylvania. At first it was formed as a 3rd California, and got its first start in the Battle of Ball's Bluff, which took place on October 21st, 1861. And then they were at Fredericksburg, they were at the Peninsular Campaign, they served in Chancellorsville, Spotsylvania, they were in Petersburg, they were in Chattanooga, but the most part that we are famous for is being under the command of William Teshuti and Dennis O'Kane. We are famous for the Battle of Gettysburg. They came to the battle on July 2nd around 10 o'clock in the morning, were stationed from 10 o'clock. At around 4 p.m., Hood's division of Longstreet's Corps attacked, and they attacked Wright's brigade attacked the stone wall, and then they held Wright's brigade at bay. And then on July 3rd at around 3 o'clock, Pickett started a charge, and they were right at the angle. And we have a monument we have a monument system. We have a nice big monument that says 69th Pennsylvania. But they sat directly at the wall and they stopped Pickett's division. They repulsed it. And you can actually see our regiment in the movie Gettysburg. And so when I became a reenactor, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to become. I said I would love to make sure whether I become a reenactor, a Confederate, or a Union, I'd like to get a unit that served in a familiar battle, whether it be Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, any of the known battles that we all learned in school, or better yet, Gettysburg. And this regiment that I belonged to served in the Battle of Gettysburg. And they came on July 2nd, served in 2 fights at the Stone Wall, and left on July 5th. They came in as the 1st California in 1861, and then turned around and became the 69th Pennsylvania with the good amount of men that they had. About 130 from the book. This is like 200 and something people. 56 people were left at Appomattox. So basically, other than that, I've been a reenactor for a good many years, and let me tell you something, it gets crazy. So, later on, I will, so I hope you enjoyed the video of me showing off my reenacting equipment, and I'll come back with a new video soon. Bye.